good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I am 𝐉𝐎𝐈𝐄𝐒𝐌, founder of Jolt Your Career, and I am really excited for today's live. About a month and a half ago, I was shocked when I was nominated as a top job search expert to follow on LinkedIn. And last month, during Women's Month, I got all of the girls together to celebrate Women's History Month and women in careers, but I didn't want to leave the fellas out. So without any further ado, welcome Kenneth, Niatu, Manny, and some of the other guys might be joining us a little later on as well. So if you are tuning in, go ahead and drop where you're tuning in from, who you're a fan of watching. Dominic is officially in the house too. So today we are going to be, let's all mute so we don't get an echo. My bad, guys. So today we are going to be talking about how to build genuine connections on LinkedIn, because if you would have asked any of us a month and a half ago, probably none of us would have expected to be nominated for such an honor. But I think that something that ties us all together is we take our relationships out of the posts, out of the DMs, into real life, behind the scenes, and we make it work for each other. So I know someone who is fantastic at doing this in real life and is directly next to me on my screen is Kenneth. So Kenneth, I'm going to make you big, hopefully. And why don't you go ahead and share with us kind of your approach to LinkedIn?
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Kenneth Lang. I have my It's Friday t-shirt on because I think that's so important. One of the things I've learned over the years, and I was actually a job seeker myself for many years in transition, is I've learned it's hard to network in the beginning, but you need to get out there and do things. And one of the challenges I have when I work with job seekers now is they don't really know exactly how to get started. You know, if you connect with me on LinkedIn or anyone else, got to be specific about what you want. What do you want help with or advice with? And then you have to follow up and follow up. I am still meeting people and I'm still learning. And I think one of the challenges is to keep on top of things. You know, think about having a garden. You have to keep watering the garden for it to grow. And that's the way you want to look at connections and everything else. If you don't follow up and stay in touch, you're not going to have much of a garden. So this is the first time I'm actually getting a chance to see three of my cohorts in addition to Tegan. And like you, I was in absolute shock when I got invited. I was one of the top job seekers. So anyone who's here on the call, and if you connect with me, mention that you saw me on the call. Have a frame of reference and be specific as to how I can help you. So I don't want to monopolize the time. Tegan, thank you very much for having me here.
Oh, I love that tip of sending a personalized invitation. So for everybody tuning in, when you go to connect with someone, everyone on this screen has on content creator because we post a lot. And so when you go onto our LinkedIn profiles, you're going to see follow, not connect. So go ahead and press more. And the tricky thing is, if you're on mobile version, you press personalized invite, and that allows you to send a note. But LinkedIn has kind of changed a little bit. And now when you're on desktop, if you're connecting with someone, you still press more, but then it gives you an option to like send a note or to connect. And so it's a little tricky. So make sure that you're actually connecting with the person, not just sending that note, because then my connections, first connections, now become your second connections or third connections. And if you're a job seeker, that will boost your algorithm ranking and expand your potential network. So what would have used to be a cold introduction might now get to be a warm introduction. And that's actually how I met the next person I'm going to pop on up, Manny. I actually was introduced to Manny from a mutual connection, Dan Roth, who is also one of the job search experts to follow. So I'm going to bring Manny up. And Manny, can you share with us a little bit about you and your approach to using LinkedIn?
Hey, thanks, Tegan. So my name is Manny Duenas. People sometimes call me the career doctor, I guess. So my thing is that I'm passionate about supporting people from non-traditional backgrounds, especially who are coming out of boot camps and first generation students. I'm a first gen college graduate, so I understand the challenges that come along with being in that space. And so I like to give back and support people who have those types of challenges. Um, Outside of that, I actually just started a new job at Intuit on their university relations team. So funny enough, I'm going to be supporting students now at universities with breaking into tech. So I'm super excited about that. As far as my approach goes to using LinkedIn, how I approach that, I actually was just thinking about how my part of my journey got like how I got started into it was that I was at my previous job, I was hosting a career fair, and Intuit was actually there, and a connection of mine was surprisingly there. Her name is 𝐉𝐻𝐈𝐍, and I did not know she was going to be there. In fact, I didn't even know Intuit was going to be there because we were working with a third party who was gathering all of the attendees. And I said hi, and I reached out to her. I followed up, and this is something that Kenneth was mentioning earlier, and I wanted to kind of take it one layer deeper. So I followed up with her via LinkedIn, and I kind of like checked in to see like how she was doing, and see like what was new with her. And I found out that they were actually hiring or going to be hiring into it, and so I did a little bit of research. I did an informational interview, and I was interested. So I went ahead and threw my hat in the ring for that. And now I'm here on the University Relations team. This is my first week, and this is actually the end of my first week because it's Friday. But that is how I would say you should be approaching connections and nurturing your connections, right? And just being genuine with how you are speaking with them and engaging with them, keying in on them. You see someone, see how they're checking on them, see how they're doing. Because that's how I was able to get my foot in the door at a place like Intuit. Same thing with Amazon when I interviewed there. That was a connection of mine that I reached out to see how they're doing. I learned that they were hiring on a recruiting team. So that is my spiel. I'm gonna land my plane there and pass it back to Tegan. Thank you.
Well, Manny, congratulations on the new opportunity, and thanks for sharing how you landed that job, because so often we give that advice to do just that, and it's like, does that really work? Or are you just saying that? Obviously, we're not saying it just to say it. We say it because it works, and there's no one right way to approach a job search. But what I loved about Manny, his approach is that he had connections that he leveraged. He was putting himself out there, being proactive and having opportunities, finding synergy and things that aligned with him. And with a little bit of effort, things seem to kind of fall into place. And so before I bring up the next person, I just want to say hi to some of the people in the comments. We got Manny in the comments himself, who is very talented at multitasking. I need to get better at this. We've got John as well. Hey, John, good morning. We've got Laura coming in from Atlanta, Georgia. I will be down there to Phil's surprise in Memorial Day weekend. And so I will definitely catch you there as I go and visit my grandpa as well. A LinkedIn user from Chicago, for those of you who are tuning in and trying to figure out how to build more genuine connections on LinkedIn. If you have your profile settings marked as private, where you're confidentially viewing, when you go on these lives, it's just going to say LinkedIn user. And when you view someone else's profile, it says LinkedIn user as well. That might be what you want to do. But some people will actually reach out to people who viewed their profiles and say, hey, I saw that you viewed my profile, would love to chat further with you, and just kind of open that door up. So although there are many reasons to have it on private, you may also want to toggle that over to open. And we have the king of value, Craig, who if you want to see really good content, go to his page, look under his activity. the comments he makes inside of other people's posts, it's like, one, cliff notes, but two, just incredible additions. So definitely check those out. We've got Lydia from South Carolina, which, such a gorgeous place to be, so much better than Chicago this time of year, and so many other people that I can't really get through them all, but we see you. We're so appreciative that you're here. And this last comment that I'm seeing is actually from Phil himself. So Phil, I'll go ahead and pull you up next. For those of you who don't know Phil, such a nice guy. And he's all about bringing joy and positivity, and even at times getting really real. So Phil, I'll go ahead and let you introduce yourself and kind of share whatever it is you would like to share with our guests today.
No, I appreciate being here with you fine, amazing people. Just thanks for just, Tegan, just for giving us a space, really just a safe space to be real and to talk. And I think really that's what it's all about, right? I mean, we can talk about LinkedIn because it is such an amazing and an incredible platform, and the folks so far, Kenneth, Manny, and I know Nee and Dominic are going to provide some amazing insight nuggets here today as well. But I think all of us can really agree that just being yourself, right, on this platform is really what it's all about, right? Gosh, I mean, if it wasn't for this community, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. And just like everybody else here, like, I'm surprised as all get out that I made this job scan stuff. I was like, I'm like, what? Like, what's going on? So it's such an honor to be recognized for that. But really, more importantly, it's an honor to be here with you amazing people, because that's what it's all about. It's building up community on a daily basis, and it's just being there to support each other, and even if you're just checking in with one person a day, just saying, hey, how's it going, thinking about you, takes a few seconds just to reach out to somebody to see how they are doing. Because I think a lot of times too, just technology is such a wonderful thing, and it's so great to like be a part of the community here through tech. But you don't know what's going on like on the other side of the screen. So it's so important to just have that community and reach out to folks, and just build that relationship with people, one connection, one person at a time. So the quality over quantity is really, I think, the takeaway that I would say here right now. So, but that's what I got right now.
Ooh, I like that. Quality over quantity. That's such a good point, because getting numbers up, like, yeah, you need to be at 500 connections, 500 plus connections to kind of get that next boost on the algorithm. We get that. But if you're getting quality connections where you can actually collaborate with them offline, learn offline, that's where the money's at. And that's kind of my relationship with the person that I'm going to bring up next. This person and we have a little mini subgroup with a couple of other resume writers where we talk about best practices and ways to improve our client experience for those of you who work with us, and just share our wins, our lows, and even personal stuff too, which is so special. So without any further ado, I am so excited he was able to join us today, because he has some exciting news that's taking him off the platform for a little bit. So Niatu, welcome. Thank you so much for popping on.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that so much. It's a pleasure to be here to meet all these wonderful gentlemen who are also sharing so much value on the platform. I am now a father of two, which is why I've been MIA from LinkedIn for a little bit. My daughter is 3 weeks old as of today. She's born on April 1st. If I sound tired, it's because I am. I was joking with the people in the chat before that I got my Barry White voice going right now, because that's what happens. I'm really tired. I get like an octave low or something. But it's been an absolute pleasure. She's awesome. She's healthy. Her mom is doing great. And it's been a blessing to have the ability to take a month off to do paternity leave. And I'll be back online starting the first week of May. That's the plan right now, and hopefully that sticks. But as far as who I am, my name is 𝐉𝐻𝐈𝐬. Nice to see and meet many of you. I bill myself as a holistic career coach for professionals of color, and my goal is to help professionals of color to navigate their job search in a way that feels authentic to them and find success in a way that is meaningful at the end of the day. When it comes to connection, Tegan, I'm happy you brought up our little WhatsApp group that we have here. Tegan and my partner, Leslie Gar, who we used to do a LinkedIn Live together, we all connected initially, I think, just through comments on the platform. We all seem to be commenting very regularly on each other's posts. And through those comments, we started building up a rapport and even in a relationship and a friendship, through just being very active, supporting one another's content. That led to me saying, hey guys, like I really respect what you're doing, respect what you're doing. Can we get together and share best practices on how to write resumes and all of that? And that was me just sort of being curious, like, hey, is this going to work? Let me just throw this out there. And lo and behold, they responded positively. And the three of us have a WhatsApp group in which we've deepened our relationship, both on a professional and a personal level. Aside from our personal connection, the advice that I would give to everyone listening today is to connect through curiosity. I wrote an article about this, a little while ago, but really, when it comes to building a relationship, responding to and paying attention to that spark that draws you to want to know more about someone. There's a question, there's an oddity, there's a commonality, there's just something interesting about that individual that grabs your attention. Really pay attention to that, and that could be the entry point or the starting point of the outreach you do to someone to build that initial relationship. There's a question you really want answered. How did you transition from being in biotech to being in the legal field, for example? Totally random, but that is a genuine question that you might be really curious to find the answer to. And in leading with that and presenting that person, hey, I looked at your background, I am seeing your story. I want to know more about your story. And here's my question that I'd love for you to answer. Can we connect over this? And because you have made the effort to, learn a bit about the person, you're inquiring as to the history, as to their story, people often respond quite positive because they want to share their story. They want to share how they got to where they are and maybe bring someone else along for the ride with them. And so if you are able to lead with curiosity, connect your curiosity, and use that as the main spark for outreach, that is a really great way to build a genuine relationship, because the question you ask, you actually want to know the answer to. We all live in a society where people say, hey, how you doing? They don't really want to know the answer. This is taking the opposite approach, where when you reach out with that question, you really do want to hear the whole story about how they got to where they got to. And so that's my key advice. Connect with curiosity, and things will definitely bloom from there.
Ooh, I like that, because it takes it from, can you get me a job, to, wow, I'm really curious about that. Are you open to sharing? And it builds that rapport. And that's so powerful. And I want to go back to about how you were talking about, we were just all commenting on each other's things and appreciated each other's perspectives and the way we challenged each other at moments. That respect can come from commenting. So even, if you're not one to want to post your own thought leadership, if you just simply want to engage on other people's posts, that's a fantastic way to build genuine connections. You don't have to start off by connecting with someone by pushing the connection button. You can literally start off by responding to somebody's comment on somebody else's post or on their post, and just see where that takes you. And for our situation with Leslie, it was months that it was just friendly conversation back and forth. Mm-hmm. And then all it took was one ask. Hey, do you guys want to get together offline and chat about this? And then boom, we've been able to do so many things based on each other's support. It's so powerful. And job seekers, take note of that, because all these other job seekers, they need help with their interview prep too. They need a shoulder to cry on too. They need a safe place to vent and a safe place to celebrate their wins without somebody saying, well, you still don't have a job. Yeah, but I got the interview, bitch. Oh, you know what I'm saying here. So maybe don't use that word, but when you're in a safe place, you can say those words and get excited. Yes. And speak with your authentic voice. And so I'm so excited you shared that today. And somebody else who I've recently had the opportunity to do that with too is Dominic. And it was so cool to learn about how Dominic opened up his business model, and talking about some ideas on things where this is where I would love to be able to serve clients, and just like absorbing each other's ideas. For those of you, every single person on this stage, we function on kind of a different wavelength, I would say is fair to say. We put a lot of energy into the things that we care about. And this is absolutely true with Dominic as well. So Dominic, I'm going to bring you up here and share whatever you would like to share.
Thanks for having me, Tegan. It's so nice to see a lot of you. I know I've connected with you and Kenneth, so I need to go land some more conversations with Phil, Manny, and Niato. But it's been really cool. I think just with this group, you mentioned it before, talking about how we've been able to challenge each other. Like, hey, sure, we serve the same clients and we are competitors, but I'm super comfortable going to anyone on this call and saying, or on this stream, and being like, hey, what do you think about this? Or what are some of those best practices? And that's been one of the funnest parts. It's like, hey, I'm still young, I'm still learning. Like, hey, what are we doing here? And so that's been really a joy for me, and been able to help me like grow my network. And when you come to someone and you're authentic, like, hey, I'm struggling with this, what would you do? It makes it build like insanely quicker. And then you just have that relationship moving forward. To introduce myself, my name is 𝐉𝐎𝐈𝐍. I run DX Consulting, and I primarily serve clients by teaching them to have conversations over applications instead of applying to 25 jobs every day. So perfect for this LinkedIn live stream. I think my biggest piece with conversations, and I have 2 conversations after this, I think, with people that I've never met before. And the way I was able to land them was that it's kind of with Niato's point about being, having that curiosity, but just putting the focus on them. Like, hey, I just want to learn about you and the work that you do on a daily basis. I don't need you to refer me to anyone. I don't need a job. I don't need you to connect me with anyone else right now at this moment. I just want to learn about, what do you wake up and do for 9 hours a day? And that's been really helpful for me and my clients, just coming to the table, simple ask, and wanting to learn more. So that's all I have to add today. Thanks for having me up here. It's super nice to see all of you.
Ooh, Dominic, you hit like major gold right there with a simple ask. That's the key, because sometimes when we're in our job search, it's easy to focus on me. I mean, I get dozens of messages a day. Can you get me a job? No, I cannot. Can you get yourself a job? Like I would help you get yourself a job. I would love to support you, but like, you're speeding past first base and going straight to third there, buddy. That is way too big of an ask. So I want to just, as we wrap up, hit on something that everyone said. Dominic, since you were the last to go, I'm going to start with you first. Have a small ask. If you are going to ask someone of something, have it be a small ask. Asking for a virtual coffee the first time you ever met this person, too large of an ask. But to Niatu's point, if you ask someone something out of curiosity about them, they're more likely to respond. And to Phil's point, if you engage with them in comments and show that, it's a safe place to, you're a trustworthy person, that you consistently show up and give to others, they're going to be more likely, when they're doing that little fact check about you, to be willing to chat with you. And to Manny's point, leverage previous connections. Go back to those people that you know and that you could potentially follow up with. Hey, it's been a while. How have you been? Congratulations. I see you landed a new role. That curiosity and that just genuine, just touching base, not needing anything from that person, just hey, what's up? And then sometimes you'd be surprised. It's a coincidence. Oh yeah, I'm actually recruiting for this role. I think you'd be great for it. Yeah, let's chat a little bit further about that. I might be open to that. And boom, sometimes magic can happen. And all the way back to the first person, Kenneth, who is an absolute rock star at doing in real life activities. If you feel comfortable, get out there. go to these presentations. And you know what? Offline, me and Kenneth were sharing that sometimes some of these things can get a little bit repetitive, but as you continue to hear things and as you continue to grow in your job search and in your career, different things are going to resonate with different people depending on how it's worded, and what mindset you're in that day. So if you're in his area, definitely attend his events. And even if you're not, he does have a huge virtual presence on LinkedIn where he does all sorts of trainings that you can attend. And you will notice in his trainings, I mean, he's got a cult behind him, right? Like he has hardcore fans that are going to be in those comments. And if you appreciate him as much as his people appreciate him, hey, Tegan, I saw that you're a huge fan of Kenneth's as well. His trainings are incredible. Wow, you had some great points in his comments. Would love to, connect and chat further with you. I would say you go from like a 1 out of 10 chance of someone accepting that to like a 9, if not 10 out of 10 chance of someone accepting that connection request and you starting that foundation of building rapport. And so I didn't see really any questions in the comments, but if any of you have any comments, any questions, we are all here to help you. So don't hesitate to reach out to us. Be proactive and look through our activity section. Like Nitu was saying, he posts so many amazing articles talking about not only things that benefit his target audience, that benefit all of us. Like his mental health posts are absolute gold. Go back through and look through some of this activity. And then you say, and if you start going through some of these people and you're looking through 6 months worth of content, liking it, commenting on it, you're going to get that person's attention. Who the heck is reading something from 6 months ago? It's a way to get on the top of their list when it comes to, wow, now I'm curious. Who took the time to read through that much stuff? So many different ideas from all of us today. So I'm going to make us all on the big screen, hopefully. And then just round table real quick. Manny, I know you're at work, so I'm going to start with you first. Then we can do Dominic, Phil, Niatu, Kenneth. One last thing that you would say for best advice heading into summer job search.
Thanks, Stephen. Yeah, I would say do the work. It's as a job seeker, it's oftentimes not easy.
Oh, you're gonna have to get it closer to your mic because I can't hear you.
Okay, can you hear me now? Hello.
Yep, can hear you now.
Okay, cool. I was just saying, do the work. As a job seeker, oftentimes it's not easy, and opportunities don't come out of thin air. Oftentimes, you have to create them. I like to say, if opportunity doesn't knock, go to the door, right? And a lot of times, success leaves breadcrumbs, and you just gotta know where to find them. And so that's why people like us are here to show you the way and show you where those breadcrumbs can be found. So that is what I will leave everyone with. Do the work. We will see.
All right, so we got to do the work. Dominic, how about you? What do you think people should do this summer for their job search?
Learn to love the no. Like, learn to love those discouraging moments. Like, I have them all the time where people, hey, I can't talk right now, circle back in a month or two, or I don't think this is the right fit, or just something. Those no's come consistently, whether you're job seeking or as a professional, you're going to see them. And I think just learning to battle through them and keep going. I've wanted to talk with a bunch of people in a certain role at Deloitte. There's been a handful of people who have done tremendous things for me. There's also been a handful that have not responded or not showed up to meetings. And that, hey, people are human. That's just going to happen. You're going to run into that. So I think learning to just get through that and work with some mental toughness will be really helpful for you this summer.
Ooh, emotional resiliency, something my sensitive self is always working on. Phil, how about you? What is your summer go-to advice for people?
So I've said this one before, but I have to keep saying it again because it's just so darn important, right? So make sure that you're celebrating the wins, whether it's big or small, and make sure that you celebrate your progression. So if you're getting up and you're applying to one position, celebrate that. You made progress. If you're reaching out to a few recruiters here and there, that's progress. Celebrate that. If you're getting that interview scheduled, celebrate that, right? So always make sure that you're progressing, but you're also reflecting on that progress. That's what I would say.
I like that. Celebrating those wins can help us realize how far we've come. All right, Nia2, what you got for us? I know you're tired. So if everybody's watching, you got to remember newborn, no sleep.
Yeah, but hopefully I can still contribute some value here, despite being sleep deprived. I think what popped to mind for me was I'll call it slow down in order to speed up. These aren't necessarily my words, but I'm going to apply it to the job search situation. So by slow down, I'm going to say take advantage of the slowness of the summer in terms of hiring. Hiring managers on vacation, people on vacation, processes can be a little bit slow. So for yourself, take that time to check in with yourself and really figure out, what do I want in this next job, and really take that time to gain that clarity. And if you're able to do that, what your non-negotiables are, what type of work environment you want to be in, the size of the company, the teammates, the leadership profile, communication styles, really go into the nitty-gritty and literally write out what you want. I call it writing your own job description. I think many of us would agree with that sort of step in your job search. Really define what you want. That's a slowdown piece, and take advantage of the summer to do so. Then in the fall, when things pick up, you can speed up at that time. So you would hopefully lay some seeds, lay the foundation for a really strong job search. Come fall time, and you're ready to hit the ground with networking, sharing marketing materials, and you have a very clear idea of what you want. And it's so much easier to ask your network for support if you are clear with what it is you're looking for. You can make clear asks, and that will allow you to speed up in the fall. So take advantage now to slow down, figure stuff out, and then speed up in the fall.
Ooh, I like that one. Kenneth, how about you?
Well, I'm going to use a summer analogy. Jump right in. The water is fine. Start engaging on here. Start putting content out. There's such a big thing. Everyone calls it imposter syndrome. You're so afraid to put something out there the first time. You're so afraid of how it's going to come across. Put something together. Start commenting on posts if you're not sure. You all are subject matter experts. This is all a perception, for sure. I've met some of my greatest connections just by commenting on a post, and you never know where it's going to go. What's the worst thing that happens? The post doesn't resonate with someone, you write another post. We've all had posts and things that have gone south. That doesn't stop us, because you have to feel comfortable with yourself, and that's a big part of the journey. Feeling comfortable in your own skin, commenting, connecting. And if you connect with someone put this, send a follow-up, thank you for connecting with me. Send some call to action with that. I can't tell you how many people were both ways. Send a connection request, they don't follow up. Thank you. Appreciate it. People appreciate those little things.
Oh, yeah, there's always money in the follow-up for sure. So we are a little bit over time, but I still want to share my tip for summer 2022 job search. It's have one. If you want to have a new role, still continue to look in the summer. If you need to take a vacation, great, take a vacation, but don't stop. Just because things slow down a little bit historically when it comes to hiring trends, and that the job search is extended because of scheduling conflicts from other people's taking breaks and things of that nature, there are so many people who completely leave the job search space in the summer because they think, it'll be a waste of my time. I'll start in the fall. Don't do that. This is an optimal time for that many people to be leaving for you to really shine. So my challenge and call to action for all of you 40-something people who are watching right now, connect with people who engaged in these comments, because they're obviously open to it because they're being active on LinkedIn. Connect with all of us and do something a day that takes you outside of your comfort zone so you can push yourself and give yourself that confidence that you can do hard things. So with that, I want to congratulate all of you and all of the other guys who were nominated on JobScan's Top Experts to Follow on LinkedIn. I am just in awe of each of you. So fangirl moment right now. But also I appreciate all of our relationships with each other. So with that, thank you for joining me. And we'll all be chatting off online. So I'll end it here. See you all next week, where I will be chatting with a U.S. Marine who's struggling in his job search and really fed up with the corporate experience and lip service that companies are doing. I promise you, we're going to keep it positive, but we're also going to keep it real. So until next week, everyone, see you later.